because I was not expecting that, if I'm being honest. So another tip I will say that helped me was that, oh my god, it was so embarrassing thinking about it. If I'm being very harsh to myself, that question is a very broad question. As I came in, guys, this is where the full gist starts from. Oh my god. Hello beautiful, welcome back to the channel. My name is Princess Kelvin. Thank you guys for tuning in again. For those of you that are new here, you are welcome. So I do content related to nursing, lifestyle and faith related content. So if it's something that will interest you, please consider subscribing at the end of the video, or you can also subscribe now. So let's get right into the video. Today we are talking about interviews, and I just want to share with you guys my story and how I was able to land a particular job, and yeah, tips that helped me. So if it's interesting to you, please consider watching to the end, and I'm very sure that you would have gotten one or two things at the end of the video. If I'm being honest, I have gone for a couple of interviews, and this particular one I'm about to share with you guys stood out to me because of how intense the interview was. You know, when you just enter into that interview setting and everybody just being so serious, both the interviewer, both your fellow candidates that came to apply and everything, they're just being so serious. That's how it was, just too serious. So where am I going to start from? So let me just start from the beginning, how I was able to apply for the job. So I applied for this particular job um online, and yeah, someone sent me the link and I just applied online, and within, was it 72 hours, they sent me a link, sorry, they sent me a message telling me that I was scheduled for the interview on a particular date. So that same date came and I dressed up and I went for the interview. So I packaged my documents properly and I went for the interview. So in case you're just graduating and you don't know the documents that are needed for applying for application, I've listed them on the screen, but basically it's your certificate, your BSc certificate or your nursing certificate, depending on the type of nursing you did, and then your license. It could be your RON license, your midwifery license, your public health license, whatever license you have, and depending on the kind of jobs you apply for. Some other places require things like your local government certification, your birth certificate, and some other document. I'm just going to be listing them on the screen and in the description so that I will not forget anyone. When I got to the interview, I was really early, so I had time to just sit and read a little before they called me in. When they called me in, I gave them my documents and the photocopy. Why they returned the original? Obviously, they returned the original. Let's not forget that. Then they told me to sit, and then they gave me a written interview. So one of the major tips I want to say is that, please, when you're going for an interview, the firm, the hospital, the company, whatever organization you're going for that interview, research about them, know about them. I was able to research about the hospital beforehand, and I knew it was a maternity hospital. It was, you won't have known from just me looking at it outside, because it was really big. I did not know that it was majorly maternal issues that were there, like childbirth and all. So when I got that information, I was able to prepare and just refresh my memory on midwifery related questions. So yeah, once they gave me the written question, it was, I feel like that was the simplest part of the interview. I was so happy because looking at the questions, they were just so simple, because of the fact that I have refreshed my memory already on those military related things. And 80%, okay, I'll not say 80%, I'll say like 90% of the written questions were midwifery related, because again, like I said, it was a maternity hospital, and I wouldn't have known because the name did not signify that this was a maternity hospital. This is just a side note. This is just a side note. Please don't forget your pain. I don't know whether I need to say this, but I actually saw people there that forgot their pain coming for interview, and it's just giving this vibe of seriousness. So please, let's not be that person that will forget a pain to an interview. Yeah. Then the main interview, the oral interview came, and then they called me in. As I came in, guys, this is where the full gist starts from. Oh my god. As I came in, I I came in, I greeted the people that I saw. There were three people seated. I just greeted them. In my mind, I was thinking that it would be one person because I saw the matron before. I've already introduced myself to the matron when I came into the hospital. So I thought she was the one that was going to be interviewing me. Only for her to tell me to sit down. And then I sat down. I was about to shift the chair and face her completely, but she said no, I should just sit. So imagine me sitting now facing you guys. There was a doctor by my left hand side. There was a matron by in the middle, and then there was an admin person by my right. So that was how the setting was. I was like, wow. So before I continue with the oral interview, the written interview was about 20 minutes long, and it was, like I said, it was not that complex. I was thinking that if it was like that the whole interview would be, that means I don't have a problem. Okay, so back to where we were, the oral interview. The matron there asked me about, I should tell them about myself, and that question is really really a broad question, and obviously we know that we're not going to tell them about our personal life and our family. We are smart people in this community, we don't do that. But the answer to that question, if I was to score myself, I will give myself, if I'm being very very harsh to myself, I'll give myself a 60%, because coming back, researching about that question, I know that I would have answered it in a better way. I know I would have answered it, but I did okay. I did okay. And then I told them about myself. I mentioned my skills, my experiences, and some other stuff I said. Then after that, I think it was the doctor, because the doctor was a female doctor. So if I'm saying she, that I don't necessarily mean the matron. The doctor also started asking me questions, and then she was asking me questions related to midwifery and all. So another tip I will say that helped me was that I did not just answer questions based on knowledge, was I also answered it relating it to my experience. So in my CV, I already mentioned the places that I worked in, the kind of hospitals I worked in. So when she asked me particular questions, maybe in working in an accident and emergency unit, if I ever worked there, and a particular question related to it, I would say something like, while I was working at this place, this is what we did and this is how I attended to that patient. So let me give you a practical example. Um, let's say they asked you something concerning pathograph, and then they asked you to explain how it is used in the hospital. You can say something like, when I worked in the labor ward of a certain hospital, we had a particular woman with this kind of vitals, and this is where I recorded it. The cervical dilatation, this is how I recorded it. Just like that, just explaining things. The fetal heart rate, I recorded it here in this particular photograph. We'll just be showing them. You get, like, I'm saying that don't just explain or don't just answer based on knowledge. Show them that you actually practiced that kind of question. You've actually done something like that. I feel like that really really helped me, and it made them believe and know that I did not just lie on my CV, because some people do that, and please, I do not recommend. Do not lie on your CV, because they will find out, and it's somehow you don't lie on your CV. If you have not particularly worked in any hospital, maybe you're just graduating, you have not worked in a hospital as per an employment, you can put where you worked, jury posting, your clinical postings, what you did there. You might not necessarily just put that you were a student nurse. You can list out what you did, what you actually did in the hospital. It will help boost your CV, and yeah, they will be able to employ you based on your experience, not thinking that you're here while you're actually somewhere here. You get. Yeah. One thing I will give myself kudos for during the interview was that I was really, really calm. I was calm. I don't even understand why I was. Okay, I can understand why I was calm, because being calm will just help you to answer the question. Just relax. I felt like I was talking with my lecturers in school, something like that. So it was not, even though the environment was intense, it did not get to me so much. And one thing that really helped me was dressing well. I feel like it's more important for you to be overly dressed than to be underdressed, honestly, because it will help with your confidence level. It will help with everything. Just help. Do not come to an interview wearing sandals, please. Please, let's not do that. Let's not do that, please. So look good and dress well. I'm not saying that you should break the bank to do that, but at least just let your clothes be ironed, be sharp. Just be sharp and come for the interview, to help you with your confidence level, and to help you to be calm. Because if you're already feeling inferior and you go for an interview and they ask you a question and the first question they throw at you, you might just, even though you know it, you might forget. The questions that the doctor and the matron asked me, they were health related questions. So I did okay with that question. No, not okay, not okay. I did very good with those questions. If it was just based on that, I would have gotten like giving myself like an 80% in the whole interview. But then what threw me off was the admin lady, because I was not expecting that, if I'm being honest. The questions the admin lady to asked me, I was like, can you just ask me health related questions so that I will know that if I'm getting it or if I'm not getting it. But this question you're asking me in my head though, I was thinking to myself, these questions you're asking me, there's really no right or wrong answer, so I don't really know what to say. So let me tell you some of the questions that she asked me. Before that, I was thinking like when the doctor and the nurse, the major, they were done, I was just thinking that the admin will ask me things like how much am I expecting, that is what we are here for, um, um will I just, simple questions like that, that I don't, I'll just try to say what I think. She asked me, one of the questions that she asked me that I knew that I did not really answer on time was, what was my impact in my last place of work. So what she asked me that question, I was quiet for like a whole 30 seconds. I'm not even exaggerating. I was just quiet. I said, oh my god, it was so embarrassing thinking about it. I then said, ma, please, could you explain the question again? She said, what was your impact in your last place of work? What is that thing that you did that will make them miss you as you're no longer there? And oh, it helped me. That explanation actually helped me. I just told her the truth that while I was in my last place of work, I was always doing my tasks all the time. If I noticed that there was any nursing duty that was not yet attended to, that I will attend to it timely, immediately, and get it done. So that is one thing, that there was not going to be any nursing duty that would just be left unattended to while I was on duty. That was one thing I said. So she just said, okay, but that we didn't miss you for that. In my mind, I was I was like, maybe ask them. I don't know if they will miss me for that. But what I told her was like, yes, madam, will miss me for that. So the matron came in and then she said, if she comes into our organization and then she's actually doing like that, I will actually miss her if she's gone. So that was what helped me, and I was kind of relaxed when the matron said that. But personally speaking, I'm not 100% sure I answered that question rightly. What other question did the admin lady ask? She asked um that's the only question I can remember, because other questions I answered them well and I was confident in my answer. Guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I don't want it to be too long. That was my experience in an interview, one of the interviews that I want to share, that I shared with you guys. And about getting the job, I did like immediately when we talked about the pay and everything, I left. Then later on they called me and they told me that if I'll be available to take the job, but unfortunately I was not available. So I told them that I will not be available for the job. Not because I was not physically available, one, and secondly, some other circumstances that is just a whole lot of story. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it to your people, share it to your nurses, your nurse friends that will need it, and yeah, consider subscribing. Click the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Keep living, keep loving, and keep growing.